this year I had to let go of a lot of things. I had to let go of relationships. I had to let go of expectations for myself. I had to let go of expectations as it pertains to the justice system. Because me personally, I just felt like I wanted my life to look a certain way. I wanted my life planned out a certain way. I had expectations of where I needed to be or where I wanted to be right now in this current time at my big age of 31. But you know what? Sometimes things don't pan out how you want them to be. Sometimes things aren't as they are. It just doesn't mean that, you have failed. It just means that you just have to let go. And by letting go, you have not, it doesn't mean that, things aren't going to work out. It just doesn't mean that, you're failing. To me, I take it as it's strength to, you're letting go to make room for something else, something bigger, something better, something that is actually meant for you / me in this situation, because I'm speaking from my perspective. Anyway, I thank you all so much for joining me on this video. My name is OJ and I make commentary videos, whether it's on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, whether it's on my 75-day hard challenge, or a video such as this, where I'm giving you just a perspective shift or my perspective on how I'm viewing my life and how maybe it might be able to help you with whatever you're going through, or just if you just wanted something nice to watch. So thank you for sticking around. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll get on with the video. So I have my notes on my phone. So if you see me looking down, I'm just making sure that I am, hitting them or I'm able to talk about them without forgetting, because while staying on script at the same time, because I know me that I will either run off script or just forget something until the end. So for me, what I had to let go of. So one of the things I had to let go of was my romantic relationship. Another thing I had to let go of was being understood. Another thing was timelines that I had for my life. So those three things. So I'll talk about my relationship first. So for me, when it came to my relationship, I would say that it had gotten to a point where I noticed we both went on the same page as it came to goals, as it came to how we wanted the relationship to progress. Though it was a good relationship, I had to just be realistic of where I wanted to go with just my life as an individual and where life was going together as, a pair, as a couple. I had to have a good hard look at myself and sit down and really, really think of what I wanted. One of those things that I wanted, as you saw from my earlier videos, was doing hierarchs. By doing hierarchs, I was learning to give to myself. And by learning to give to myself, I was realizing what I wasn't receiving when it came to the relationship. And though the relationship was good, I had to just choose to just walk away for my own self. I had to let that go, because I was also at a point in life where I was having expectations of where I should be. Because right now, if you don't know, I'm 31. So I just had this thing where I'm 31. I should be married by now. I should be having a house. But the reality was that wasn't the case. The reality was I was still, learning. I was still growing. I was still just doing all the things that I needed to do for me in this, very, very current season and moment in my life. Another thing as well that I needed to let go of was being understood, because I was one of those people where I would give an answer, right? So someone asked me, oh, why are you doing this? And not why are you doing this? What are you doing with this? And I just would say, oh, I'm doing this. And instead of just leaving it as that, I felt like I had to justify why I was doing it. Not because they wanted to know, it was just me and my way of processing things, or I guess me and my way of maybe trying to reason with them, maybe trying to make them see why this is important to me, when I didn't need to do all that. They never asked me for all that. They just wanted to know what I was doing. But something in me, something deep inside, just wanted to over-explain and just over-justify something that was really probably not that deep, if that makes sense. It may have been deep to me, but just to them, they just wanted to know. I also mentioned justice. Now, for those that are wondering why I'm talking about justice, it's another video that I'll talk about, but I'll just briefly talk about. So I had to do a court case for SA that I was a victim of 2 years ago. And we only had the court case now. And in my mind, I had to let go of the idea of whether I wanted, guilty or not guilty. Because whether I liked it or not, there was always going to be a 50-50 chance, whether it was going to go in my favor or not. All I had to choose to do was be able to be present at the court case and, speak my truth, give my evidence as honestly as I needed to be for the time. And yeah, that was it. Like, I really, really had to work on mentally just letting go and not letting it affect me, or not letting myself, get so caught up in the outcome. Because as much as I wanted the outcome to be in my favor, it's well and truly out of my hands. There was nothing that I could have done to change it. There was nothing that I could do that could really influence, the jury or the judge. It's just how they perceive the information, and everything else, I would say, was just by chance. So that was that. That was one of the things that I had to let go. What the letting go looked like for me. So for me, one of the ways of letting go was I had to just put myself first. And by putting myself first, I was doing my high rocks training. I was doing my, weight loss journey. By doing all that, that just meant that all the time that I had to, just sit around and think about stuff, all the time that, I would be just ruminating on past decisions, or why things didn't work out, or why I said that, or why that was said to me. My time was taken up in a positive way by focusing on myself. So I literally genuinely had no time to think about all that shit that was in the past. Another thing as well, what letting go looked like was training when I wasn't motivated. Because there were times in the morning where I would wake up and I'd just be like, I cannot do today because I'm just so tired. I am just feeling very, very sore because the workout yesterday was hard, or the workout 2 days ago was hard. I just didn't want to be there. But I had to work through that. I had to, lock in and tap into my discipline, because I knew that motivation is fleeting. To me, motivation comes and go. Like, it's very easy to be motivated at the start and be like, yes, I'll do this, I'll do that, I will be this and I'll be that. But then by the time, routine kicks in, time goes on, life happens. That's when I really, really had to tap in and rely on my discipline. Another way of me letting go was my YouTube channel. I felt like, by being able to create stuff, having that positive outlet, especially when I had, negative feelings and negative emotions, just bubbling up. By doing that, I was sort of able to just process and really have all my thoughts and my words of how I was feeling about certain things just out there. And sometimes by me having it out there, by me speaking about it, I was listening to myself and being like, okay, one, that may have been really messed up, or two, maybe it's not as important as you thought it would be. Maybe you need to, change the way you're looking at something, or realign your own expectations, or refocus on something else, because right now that is draining you. Right now that is not working for you at all. So that was, one of my things. One of the things that I really, really was starting to do was making plans that did not depend on anyone else, which I kind of was doing before anyway, but then now I'm just like, if I got up in the morning, like for example, the Michael Jackson movie, I had seen one time with someone else, and then I wanted to go see it again. And then previously I'd be like, oh, I need to find friends to go with and see. But then now I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go and do it because I want to do it, and it's fun, and it's something that I am like interested in. Why wouldn't I do that? Or even going to the gym. I like going to the gym with my friends. Like, it's fun, it's good for socializing. But then I couldn't just rely on, messaging someone every day. Hey, are you going at 5 a.m.? Hey, are you going at 5 a.m.? Because then I was making my routine dependent on someone else's timeline. And if my friends, which I found in the past, if my friend was tired and didn't want to go, then I'd be like, oh, I don't feel like going anyway. Like, that wasn't working for me. That was, another way I was, viewing things or seeing how I was learning to let go, So that's like what I noticed, how I was letting go. And then obviously through the process of, identifying what I needed to let go and then letting go things, that's when I was really realizing that in a kind of cool way, I was actually making way for things. I was actually, opening up myself up for things. I was creating room and just time for just things I didn't know that I was thinking about, or things that I didn't know that I really needed to focus. One of them was university. Now, for those that don't know, I had initially, applied for university when I was in high school, and then I got into uni. I did start uni, and then I put it on hold to focus on other things, focus on life, and do all the things. But now, choosing to let go and realign myself and really have a hard look at what I am, choosing to focus on in my life. One of the things that is popping up that is really, driving me towards or pushing me to do is, thinking about my future and thinking about my university and how I want to go about tackling that and what I want to do with that beyond just studying, or what I want to do in just my future when it came to like my career goals and what that entails for me. Another thing is by making space, I was also making space for, my creating videos, creating TikToks, creating reels for Instagram, creating content for, like self-improvement, which is what you're watching right now, or creating commentary videos for The Real Housewives of Atlanta or any future shows that I may choose to watch and review. I felt like now I'm having time to do all those things, And then another thing that I feel like I'm feeling the inkling to, or feeling like I'm suddenly having a lot of time for, is my next Hyrox. Obviously, when I did my first Hyrox, I always knew that was just the first one I was doing. I didn't have a plan of however many I wanted to do, in what capacity I wanted to participate in, but now like my brain is actively like, it's like just in the back, like it's coming, like it's gonna happen. I just don't know when, either end of this year or start of next year, but it is gonna happen. By letting go of things, I'm also making room for myself, making space for new relationships, new experiences. When I talk about relationships, I'm not necessarily talking about something that is romantic only. I'm talking about like platonically in a way, or people that you just meet in passing. Like I'm opening myself up to new experiences, opening myself up to just having a little chit chat with someone, and I think it's been so rewarding and very, very fun, if that makes sense. Another thing as well is like experiences as well. Like there are things that I had been wanting to do. There are things that I want to see, or places I want to see, and things I want to, be a part of. That now, by making space, by letting go, I suddenly have all these time to think. And now I'm like, okay, well, on my calendar, I want to do this, I want to do that. And one of those things is I want to travel overseas by myself. I just haven't found where I want to go or when I want to go, because it's just something that I'm nervous about, but, we'll get to it. I have time now. I am making space for all those good things. And like, what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, I am so excited in this current season of letting go. I am so excited that I am choosing to, just let go of things and just put my trust in something else bigger than me. Like for me, myself, one of the ways that I'm putting my trust into something bigger is putting my trust into God. I know that not everyone is religious. Some people may, experience spirituality in a different way, but this is like, from my perspective, which actually reminds me that there is a Bible passage that I have been, I guess, hyper-focused on it at this very moment, because it ties into my, whole season of letting go. So for me, it says, it's from Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Like, to me, it just ties in with what I was saying. Like, sometimes you just have to take a step back. You just have to let it go. Give it just like a higher power. Give it to something else beyond you. Like, there's only so much that we as human beings can do within one day, right? Or we can do within 1 hour, within 1 minute. Some things are just out of our control. And that is something that I am really learning right now. That is something that I am, I guess, allowing myself to experience, or allowing myself to be in the season and fully just take it in for what it is. And hopefully I will learn many things, and hopefully I can, just move on with my life to just more and more amazing things, I think that's pretty much it. Like, I feel like I've hit all my talking points for this video. Yeah. Like, I will say, like, I guess to finalize everything, I always associated like letting go of something as losing. I always associated it as, a failure. When It really is not. It is something that, you are instilling self-confidence again. You are being courageous. You are doing what is best for you. You are putting yourself first. And I feel like it's something that should be commended. And it's something that, like, pat myself on the back. And for those that are watching, like, give yourself a round of applause. Like, pat yourself on the back. So I thank you all for watching. This is my video on my season of letting go. I hope you liked this video. If you have any suggestions or any ideas on, for one, how I can make my content better, or what you want me to talk about, please let me know down in the comments. Please also let me know what you think of what I have just said, whether you agree, whether you disagree, while also being kind and being responsible with our words as well, because words have power. Also, please subscribe so you can see more wonderful content, whether it's about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, whether it's about my 75-day hard challenge, or just something else that I'm choosing to talk about now. I love you all for watching. Thank you for giving me your time. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful evening. Bye.